Oh, the minutes, that's right. I forgot to write that on here. Oh my cow. All right. Minutes from January 8th. Discussion.
I think this
You
you
want an
actually do need a
action
motion.
first?
Oh yeah, sorry, we do. We need a motion.
So we don't know why they were.
Yeah,
so-
maybe we should have an explanation first. And the request that I got is that the minutes reflect that I raised a point of order in reference to my concerns, I'm sorry, Michael, email to Tina. This is,
What part of it is we looking at?
okay, so what I'm gonna do is, this is the request that came from, there's a front and back, right? Okay, so everyone can have one of those. That will give a little explanation. I should have done that, I'm sorry. I'm tired. Ugh. Okay. Received an email from Michael that he was requesting to have the minutes placed on tonight's action agenda, and that he would request that the minutes reflect that I raised a point of order in reference to my concern for the use of the word precinct, and that he wanted that.
What's the letter?
I know.
Where was it even not, was it not mentioned in here at all then?
No.
No.
Well,
So Michael, maybe you could.
Okay. The original,
That's fine.
we have two sets of minutes. So the original sets of minutes said that Mr. Clara expressed a concern over the board business meeting agenda saying precinct rather than district. Board leadership will take it under consideration. I was fine with all of that, and I just had requested that we put in there that it wasn't a concern, that it was actually a point of order. And then what happened was on this next set of minutes we got, it says, without prior notice to board leadership, board member Clara distributed a document containing his argument for a point of order on a topic not on the agenda for discussion. President Sweat said board leadership would take the item under consideration. There were no objections from the board continuing the meeting. So on this, if we go with this later version, you know, the point of order is there that I asked for, but I do believe it should reflect that the point of order, going back to the original language, was over the board business meeting agenda saying precinct rather than district.
So you want this set clarified, the minutes clarified.
Right. On that
And
point.
what page are we on? I'm
On
sorry.
page 4.
Page 4, thank you.
Right in there. So could you just bring these back for our next?
No, what we'd like to do
For
is,
January 8th, it
Yeah.
would be nice to.
we'd like to get them taken care of tonight.
But they need to be rewritten.
Well, I think what you're asking for, as I hear you, Michael, is to say, something says, it seems to say something a little different in the email that Chrissy just passed out.
Yeah.
But that
Sorry.
you want to say a point of order about the agenda saying precinct or district, or precinct rather than district.
Right.
Then that would satisfy your
On that
concerns
point,
about
that's
it?
correct.
Okay.
That's neat, I mean, we can do that and still,
And so instead of on a topic not on the agenda for discussion.
I don't care, if you guys want to put that in there, that's fine. I just feel, you know, it was actually, my point of order was about the agenda, an item on the agenda. I mean, if you want to leave that on there, that's fine, that's not accurate, I don't think, but I'm not going to quibble about that.
It was about a word on the agenda. Not, I mean, we didn't
Yeah,
have that on the
that's it.
agenda for discussion.
right,
Right.
it's just a word that was on the agenda.
Well, I personally don't have any objection to simply changing that to say, for a point of order on the use of the word precinct rather than district on the agenda.
Right.
Okay.
And then the other part on that was, I had asked for that letter to be part of the minutes and part of the record of the meeting, and that doesn't seem to happen. It looks like on the next board meeting, on the January 22nd, when you responded to my letter, you did add your bullet point memo that you and Mikkel made, and clearly put that on there, but the original thing that started everything, and so I'd asked for my letter of point of order to be put into the record.
Do we do that where individual board members produce documents and ask them to be incorporated into the record of the deliberations of this committee, I don't really think it's done. We're all allowed to like bring stuff in, but.
That happened on January 22nd.
About what?
When
Did we
this,
bring in a
this,
personal communication, and what are you holding there?
this initial information regarding precinct versus district
That was,
question.
actually, that was given to us on the very, in our meeting when we were sustained, right? Or-
No, this
no,
was the second, this is January
I'm
22nd meeting.
I'm sorry.
But that.
Oh, you're looking at the minutes.
But that
I
came
was
from
looking at your letters, sorry.
staff,
Right.
not from an individual board member. And I think this is a live topic for discussion. When we've discussed it, when I have thought about it and discussed it with occasional individuals, it's clear that there are different ways of doing it in boards. You know, for example, at the legislature, in a committee meeting,
Mhm.
you never see attachments brought by individual members of the committee.
That's not accurate. They always say, I want this entered into the record.
That,
Legislature's not a good example if you want to say that we're not going to do
Well,
that.
I'm talking about in the committee.
In the committee meetings. Well, they can introduce the sub.
You've probably been there more than I have, but
A
they
substitute, but I
absolutely-
haven't seen them enter
I'd like
in,
to.
you know, like an odd
Well,
document.
well, let me ask this then. On our policy, on our B2 policy, it says recording and minutes for board meetings. It says written minutes and recordings will include, it says the date, the names of the members, substance of the actions taken, which is what we agreed that we would put in, names of all citizens who appeared, and it says in any other information that any member requests be entered into the recording in the minutes. And this policy comes directly from the Open Meetings Act. And so, you know, I don't know what the practice was in the past, but, you know, I'm here, I'm reading the law and the policy, and it says any other information that any member requests be entered into the recording
I
in
am
the minutes.
enough opposed to this that I would suggest that we ask our legal counsel to meet with us. That this is an order. If we are, once again, being accused of breaking law by the way we're doing things, we should get the board lawyer here and we will get a legal opinion about this. Because I don't think, we can talk about this all night, but if you say we're breaking the law by not doing this, I really do not feel that board members should be just bringing stuff in and saying, add this to the minutes.
That's the law.
It's great.
Regardless of how
I'm
you feel, that's
asking
the
that
law.
we get a lawyer here, and then we duke it out with our lawyer and decide whether we are going to let individual board members just bring stuff in and say, add it to the minutes. Because
Yep.
it's not the way it's
That's the
been
law.
done, and I think it's
Michael?
contrary to what the minutes are. It's not,
I'm just reading the
you know,
law. all
I
of it.
know, that's why I'm asking for a
Can you
lawyer.
tell me where you're reading from?
Well, on our policy, and it's also on our policy, even if it wasn't
I
the
would
law.
move
it's-
that we suspend, do not, if we are gonna not accept the minutes, that's
I
fine
would
with
move that
me,
we let the
but
president run the
let-
meeting, Doug.
I would
Can the
move
president run the meeting?
that we have a discussion with our board lawyer about this topic.
And I'll second.
Okay.
And before that, Christie, you had a question for me. I'd like the opportunity to answer it.
Yes, would you please? Yes, so, all right, so we've got a motion.
Because the
and
motion is
second.
to suspend debate and not
Right.
continue discussing this topic until we have our lawyer here.
So can I just get a clarification from where you're reading, so we
Thank
can
you.
pass that on to John? That would be helpful, and then we will have a vote.
So this is,
'Cause I did ask for the clarification.
there's two places that, one is board, school meetings, administrative procedure, B2, number 5. And A, and the last bullet point reads, any other information that any member requests be entered into the record in minutes. And then it's also in the Open Meetings Act, under Utah Code 52-4-203, and it says almost the same thing. Any other information that is a record of the meeting proceedings that any member requests be entered into the minutes.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Did you get that, Michelle? Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further?
I move that we suspend discussion of the topic of individual board members being allowed to enter whatever they like into our minutes until we ask John Robson to advise us on the law in this matter. Because I appreciate Michael has brought in the law, and we will have to discuss it. That is my motion.
We have a
And I'll
second.
second with a friendly agreement that we dismiss or are just talking about that, the minutes.
About
January 8th.
Will you accept that, Doug?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so, any further discussion?
When you say dismiss, you mean just stop.
Stop.
Suspend our discussion.
Well, I mean, another way of saying it is
Item.
continue it when,
When John is,
if we are discussing whether we are breaking law, it would be nice to have his opinion.
okay, so, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay, thank you, Mike. All right, so, Mikhail, will you please?
I'm sorry, where did we leave the original, we never did them, we're not doing anything with the minutes then
So
for
what we'll do
January
is
8th?
we'll leave the, no, let's see,
That would
because
be the
we,
motion.
right, because the January 8th minutes also include that other piece, so let's wait until we can get an opinion
Okay.
from John. And then, but all the other minutes have been done except for January 8th, okay? All right,
Okay.
so if you will contact John and see if you can come to our next board meeting, that would be great, and then we can discuss that. Great. All right, now, we can go on to the superintendent's report, right?
Not until I get my notes done.
Okay. Notes,
Okay.
all right,
The
thank
first
you.
item there, Sage, should have written down the